Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are connecting to us from. It is indeed a pleasure having you guys here. And I want to say thank you for joining me today. And of course, we are going to be discussing the market and obviously how to take advantage of the market, right? How to make some pips, how to make some money. It's also a new year, obviously. So I want to wish everybody Happy New Year. And of course, I wish that in this year that your heart desires will be met. And of course, your heart desires has to do a lot with money, right? You need money to accomplish a lot of things. And that's why we are here. So welcome once again. If you are new or a struggling trader, please indicate in the chat section. I'm streaming to different platforms. I'm streaming to the YouTube platform and also to the Trading Live platform as well. So if you're joining us from either of them, signify, let us know where you are connecting to us from. Let us know your name. Tell us a bit about yourself. This is strictly live market analysis. So we're going to be looking at the market for different instruments. We're going to be looking at the market for the currency pairs. We're going to look at the market for cryptocurrencies and a whole lot of others. Now you can see we have the Bitcoin right in front of us. We're going to also be talking about that. You can see we have our levels already placed on the chart based on support, resistance. If you guys are already familiar with how I trade, you would understand why the levels are on the chart, right? Based on price action, based on the price movement, price behavior. And if you are new to this, our section, then I need to give you a little bit of introduction, right? So welcome once again. Well, before the introduction, a quick disclaimer for you. Please kindly note that this information that we are sharing with you is strictly for educational purposes. It should not be used as a form of signal. You could place trades based on analysis, no problem, but you need to also ensure that your risk management is on point. You must know how to calculate your risk, as we don't do that for you. And that's why I said this is live market analysis. So we talk about the market and what's happening in the market for us to be able to take advantage of. So if you are joining us, welcome, welcome. Let us know your name and where you are connecting to us from. And then also, majorly in this live market analysis session, we want you to drop your currency pairs, drop the instruments that you are looking at for today or maybe this week. Let us know whether it is Euro USD and also indicate the time frame as well. Let us know what your view is, and then of course we would conduct the analysis together and look for trading opportunities. This is a way for us to be able to take advantage of the market together, right? So I'm going to start with the one that we have in front of us, the Bitcoin, and then take it up from there. Please also note that we're not going to be spending 1 hour, 2 hours here. We're going straight to the point. And of course, you have questions, feel free to ask. So if you look at what we have right in front of us, this is the Bitcoin, and you would have noticed our 3 levels, 1, 2, 3, already drawn. We can also add another level, right? As you can see, there's something that happened over here. We can always add another level to that section here, which would obviously be our resistance. This would be our resistance level here. So this is what we're going to be doing. I'm going to walk you through quickly how support and resistance is determined. It's determined by the up movement and then the down movement and the up movement and the down movement and so on. So when you see a movement like this, you easily say it's an up movement, but it started from here. So this will be support. And this point where it went down is resistance. And then you can see there was a breakout over here, breakout, and then from this point, which is now resistance, it came out to act as support. And then before you know it, this resistance that was broken over here should now act as what? Should now act as support and then push higher. So this is simply how price moves. Price moves based on supply and demand. When supply is greater than demand, price is going to move down. And when demand is greater than supply, the price is going to move up. And at the end of the day, ultimately, price will be moving in one direction more than the other. I repeat, ultimately, price will be moving in one direction more than the other. So from what we have right in front of us, from this explanation, you can see the up and down movement. And then from the chart, you can also clearly see from here, we had a major move up. And then you can see it had this movement here. And of course, you can say this is support. And then this is resistance here. And then before you know it, it came back to the area of support, pushed higher, and then came back to the area of support a couple of times, and then broke out over here. We need to also pay attention to the breakout areas and what happens after it breaks out here. It is supposed to be support, and then it pushed higher, came back. This is a new resistance. So I'm doing this to show those that are probably new to support and resistance how to understand the price movement. Because once you understand the price movement, then you should be able to understand it on any and every chart whatsoever. And then look at what happened. It came back to that area of support, but you can see we had this massive candle and another massive candle telling us that there was high impact news here. The volatility was very high, and then the price broke the support and then went back to the other support. And as much as we had this wick that broke out, you can see it closed well above and settled down and then pushed higher again. You can always see how price tends to move and respect support and resistance areas if you look closely. So look at what we have over here. Price has broken its resistance at this point here. So this is now support. And clearly you can see as we are talking not too long ago, it hit this area of support and seems to be pushing higher to this area of resistance. So this is just a quick chart. You can use this on any chart as long as you can easily see the trend, because the trend is your friend. If the trend is an uptrend, then that means that you should be looking forward to buying, especially if you are a trend trader. And then if the trend is down, then you should be looking forward to selling, especially if you are a trend trader as well. So that means that as a trend trader, you are following the trend. Okay, Emmanuel Omo, I can see you are requesting for GBP, JPY 4 hours time frame. Okay, we're going to switch to that in a bit. And for the rest of us that are here, let us know the instrument that you are looking out for. You want to place a trade on today or whatever the case might be, and then we will look into that together. So this is what we have just done for you based on the Bitcoin. And in conclusion, I'm going to clean this up because it might start to look a bit messy. And of course, we need clarity. So I've cleaned this up. So in this particular chart, I'm going to tell you what you should be looking out for. Here, there was a former resistance, which is now turned support after it broke out over here. You should be looking forward to buying in this area, which has already been the case. But we do not have price action. Price action for entry, price action for a trigger could be in the likes of the bullish. Bullish is for buying. So it could be in the likes of the bullish hammer, the bullish pin bar, or the bullish engulfing. So let's wait and see whether price could still come back here and give us that candlestick pattern or patterns they were looking out for in order for us to pull the trigger and then take it up back to this area of resistance, right? And then whatever the case might be, watch and see whether it breaks above this 47K area and use it as a form of new support to push higher. So that is the first one that we have for you. And then we're going to cross over to GBP, JPY, 4 hours for the person that requested for that. And that is Mr. Emmanuel Umo, right? GBP, JPY, 4 hours time frame. Okay, so let's switch now. Let's switch the charts over to the 4 hours time frame and let's conduct the analysis afresh. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to look for the GBP, JPY. It should be somewhere here, and this is GBP, JPY here. I'm just going to drag it onto the chart. We're going to use the same chart, even though I have GBP, JPY already here for 1 hour. I'm going to switch this to the 4 hours time frame. Now, by the way, I do not trade GBP JPY, so I'm looking at this for the first time. So looking at this for the first time, my eyes is already picking out on some key areas, and I'm going to explain those key areas I can see. On the key areas, I'm just going to do some markings over here. I have an area here, an important area here, and I'm going to explain why I'm drawing these levels as I am. I have another one here, right? I'm going to explain in a bit, but then I'm sure as I'm drawing these levels, you might already have an understanding of why Tolu is drawing these levels. Now, also apologies, I did not introduce myself for those that are new to our section. My name is Tolu of CSA Forex. CSA Forex stands for Common Sense Approach to Forex Trading. And of course, we have been in the business of trading for a little while now. We have been privileged to work for a few brokers, and of course, we are giving you this information so that everybody could have a fighting chance in the market, right? People tend to have losses, crash their accounts, and the rest of them. But then we want to help everybody out. So this is what we have in front of us. I'll still give you some intro here and there. Sorry, this is not scripted, so we could be up, down, sideways. But as long as the information is passed out, and then of course, as long as you benefit, because we want everybody to benefit. We're going to be having this live market analysis session again tomorrow. So we want you to come tomorrow and tell us that the analysis that we conducted on Bitcoin or GBP JPY 4 hours or Euro USD and the likes, I was able to make some pips from it. That is what we want everybody to take home at the end of the day. We want you to take some pips from our discussion here together. Okay, so Emmanuel Omo, please pay attention as we continue with the GBP JPY 4 hours time frame. So you can see I have done my drawings here, and then from the drawings, I'm going to explain why I did them in this manner, and then what to look out for further. So we started with this area, right? You can see from here, price pushed higher, from here, price pushed lower. You can also mark this area here, but I did not because it will start to look a bit messy, especially based on what price is doing over here. Now, it's not compulsory for you to draw every support and resistance level on your chart so that your chart doesn't start to look like a disco floor where you have too many things on your chart, especially for those that are using too many indicators, too many colors, and so on. I like to keep it simple. And as a matter of fact, keeping it simple, most times I would only concentrate on this one and then this one as well. I will only concentrate on these two levels. Why? Because that is where the price is presently. And as the price is here presently, we have it forming a triangle, a wedge at this area. So here it acted as resistance as it went down, pushed up, broke here, and then acted as support. You can see it acted as support here, here, and here. So that means that this level is a valid level. Why? Because it has acted as support and resistance in the past. And look at what happened. Coming back to this point here, it broke it nicely. But on the underside, I said under, not other, UNDER, on the underside of resistance, it acted as resistance nicely and dropped all the way down to the bottom. Acted as resistance here nicely and dropped all the way down to the bottom. Now it's back to this area here of resistance, and you can see what we have here. It has started the journey down. So just in case you did not get an entry at this top over here, because this candle here is an inverse pin bar. This is an inverse pin bar. Some traders out there, they call it the IPB, inverse pin bar, right? So this inverse pin bar is what you could have used as your entry to sell. Your stop loss could have been slightly above this level or even just above the candle. I always prefer above the level for safety because you might have like a whipsaw or whatever that takes you out and then goes down without you. Now, continuing this story of GBP JPY, I'm going to explain the scenarios that could occur and how Emmanuel Omo or any other person that trades this instrument could benefit from it. Now, you didn't get an entry here. Don't sweat it. It has now formed a triangle wedge for you. You could either wait for the market to break these floors over here. Once it breaks, uses the floor right? The new floor here as a form of resistance. You get your entry here, and then it drops further down. I'm going to do something on my own. I'm going to do a screenshot of this, and I want you guys to do the same thing. I want you guys to do a screenshot on your own too. So this is one scenario that could play out. Or another scenario, you could actually push higher to this point and even break this area back to the resistance, and then you get your candlestick patterns, your price action candlestick patterns, the ones that we've mentioned. But in this perspective, because we're looking forward to selling, we will be looking forward to the likes of the bearish. Don't forget, bearish is for selling, and then bullish is for buying. We will be looking forward to the bearish hammers, also known as bearish pin bar, or looking forward to the bearish engulfings, or it could even be a doji or harami or whatever candlestick pattern that some of you normally use. I am not a big fan of touch trading because touch trading could be dangerous. Imagine trying to touch trade over here to buy. You would have gotten killed, especially if you were not using a stop loss. So I prefer some form of confirmation for me to enter the market. So you could get a bearish pin bar or whatever bearish candlestick pattern that you have over here for entry, take it back down to this point here, and maybe even further to this point over here, this area of support. So watch this GBP JPY closely, pay attention to it, right? Because for Emmanuel Omo, he might as well make some piece from it. Tomorrow, when we're back here, let us know how it worked for you. We want to know how all the analysis that we're conducting now, how it is working at the end of the day. It is one thing to conduct analysis, it is another thing to place trades, and another thing to let us know how the trade went. Okay, so let me just check the comment section and see what we have here. For those of you just joining us, you're welcome. Let us know where you're connecting to us from. Emmanuel Omo, let us know whether that was good for you. You can also drop us a comment as you are on the YouTube live. Drop us a comment if you got that so that we know that the message has been passed across, and hopefully it also fits your own analysis. I repeat, hopefully what we did also fits your own analysis. Let us know in the comment section, right? Okay, let me check the other feed that I have from the trading live. Let me see if there's anybody requesting for any instrument whatsoever. Okay, I can see some comments over here, but not necessarily uh, comments that we are asking any question. Nobody's asking any question whatsoever. Then I also normally say something because what we have just done now is from the technical analysis point of view. I repeat, what we have done now is from the technical analysis point of view. We then always say that you need to also pay full attention to the fundamentals. Fundamentals has to do with news, and I'm going to switch the screen now to the fundamentals. Fundamentals has to do with news, and based on this news, right, we get to know what is happening in the market, whether it's for the USD or the pounds or the JPY. We just did analysis for the GBP JPY, but then do we have any news on the GBP JPY today? If you look at the fundamentals that we have switched over to, now this is the Forest Factory. Forest Factory, I have been using this for years and I'm comfortable with them. They give you good enough this news. It drops at the right time and so on. Now look at this. Today is Tuesday, January 9th, and this Tuesday, January 9th, you can see we don't have any news over here. And I'm going to explain something that we did. Now you can see we don't have any news here. As a matter of fact, for the impact, we have different kind of impact. We can see we only have red. We only let the red show because this is the high impact news, the ones that everybody should pay attention to. So we came over here to the filter and we turned only the red. We can turn all of them on, but then we don't need all of them, and then apply filter. You can see now for Tuesday, we have a lot of news coming out for Tuesday, but they are not high impact. So they are not the ones that would easily move the market. So I'm going to turn off the unnecessary ones again, and then turn only the high impact news and apply filter. Now, this is how I like to look at the fundamentals. You pay attention to the ones that you need to pay attention to. And then if you look closely, today, Tuesday, we don't have any high impact news for the pounds, JPY, or USD, or whatever the case may be. It is tomorrow They need to pay attention to the GBP JPY. So for Emmanuel Omo, please tomorrow, right, pay attention to the speech that will be given out by the Bank of England, Governor Bailey. And of course, this is high impact. High impact simply means that there's most likely going to be volatility, that the market is going to move in a significant way. For those that might be new to the fundamentals or don't know how to interpret the fundamentals, I'm going to do that for you in a quick second. By the way, this is our first live. I want to believe you are clapping where you are, and I hope that you are getting value already. This is our first live for this year, 2024. We're going to have more. We have another one slated for tomorrow. We're going to have more of this live where we're going to do Q&A. You ask questions, the instruments you're looking out for, just something to help everybody out at the end of the day, right? This is a new year. I'm sure everybody has like New Year resolutions. You have big plans for the year, what you want to achieve, and so on, right? So we're going to try to do that together. So this is just the ninth. And of course, if you're not already aware, February 29th, that is the leap year, is this year. So not just 365 days, we have 366 days. So that means that we have about 366 minus 9, which should give us 357, if my math is correct. Yeah, 357 more days. So there's a lot that we can still achieve together. So look over here. No news for today, January 9th. Tomorrow we have high impact news for Australian dollar and pound. But then I'll tell you this, the ultimate one is Thursday, January 11th, which is the CPI for the US dollar. The CPI for the US dollar, it tends to bring in so much volatility where you have like the spread increases, you have other things like whipsaws occurring, even slippage occurring, and so on. If you want to know more about slippage, for those on the YouTube channel, for those watching on the YouTube live, you can go through the videos on the channel, and then you can do what? Search for slippage, and you see the video we've already done explaining slippage. It is something that is very dangerous. I'm going to summarize it now. Slippage simply means that you can lose more than you have bargained for. Even if you use a stop loss, it can do what? It can go past the stop loss. And this is not a thing of the broker, right? It's a thing of the market because traders tend to blame the broker too much. The funny thing is that when you are making money, you don't blame the broker, obviously. But then when you start having losses, you then tend to blame the broker, which is absolutely wrong, right? You need to understand what is happening in the market. It's not just the broker. Quite all right, there are some brokers that may play some funny business here and there, and we can talk about brokers in another session. I will talk about brokers generally and not a particular broker. I'm not here to talk negative about brokers, but it is what it is, and I will not be mentioning any name. I have been trading for more than 10 years. I have been in the industry, understand things from the outside and also from the inside as well. So let's jump back to the charts that we have and see what is happening, what is cooking in the market. And if you have any other instrument of choice that you want us to look at, please state it and then we will. Okay, I can see Emmanuel said, I'm currently in Calabar. Thanks for the analysis, sir. I understood your analysis. I will be looking forward for a sell. Beautiful. So be looking forward for a sell, right? And then there's also a play for a buy, but majorly it is painting one for a sell now. Gospel Ochio, yeah, I hope I pronounced your name well. You're from Delta. Beautiful. Let us know whether you have any instrument you want us to conduct an analysis on. This is strictly live market analysis. We're not here to teach you about how to use the platform. We're not here to show you how to set your stop loss and take profits. We are here to do what? To strictly look at the market and see how we can what? Take advantage. It's about taking advantage today. So once again, the GBP JPY, this is what we have over here. This is what the market is painting as of now. We have a wedge and we're waiting for a breakdown pullback or a break to the upside and use this area as resistance again for possible entry into the market, right? Now, one thing I always do right, before I start jumping into charts, right, because I trade majorly the major currency pairs. I pay attention to the likes of the Euro USD, Pound USD, and even gold. I'm going to show you based on the dollar because you need to pay attention to the dollar. What is the dollar doing? Excuse me. What is the dollar telling you now? Because once you understand what the dollar is doing, what the dollar is telling you now, you can clearly take advantage. Don't forget, we're here to take advantage of the market. I'm just going to pop into the comment section once again to see whether we have anybody requesting for any instrument so that we can do analysis. Warisot Nelson, you're welcome. Good day to you too, right? For those that are joining us, let's know where you're joining us from. And if you have any instrument of choice you want us to look into for you. Don't forget, we're not going to be spending an hour. So in a few minutes, we're going to be rounding up after conducting a few analysis for you. I'm going to do this now. This is the dollar, the USD index, and I'm a big fan of it. I pay attention to it because it helps me to have a clear directional bias for Euro USD as an example, or Pound USD, or the rest of the majors, and gold, right? Because there's also correlation with the dollar, obviously. Euro USD and the USD that we're seeing here, when you have the USD, that's the dollar. When you have it going up, you have it going up, expect the Euro USD to be going down. And the same thing when you have the dollar going up, expect gold as well to be going down, right? It's not 100% all the time, but you can use this as a good enough gauge, right? I repeat, you can use this as a good enough gauge. Now look at what's happening to the dollar. The first thing I would ask you is what is the trend on this time frame? Because the time frame also matters. What is the trend on this time frame? Without blinking your eye 2, 3 times, you can easily say it's an uptrend, obviously, right? It's an uptrend. And it's an uptrend. You are looking forward to buying this dollar. Where do you want to buy the dollar? You want to buy the dollar at the areas of what? At the areas of support. Remember we said that we use simple price action support and resistance. It's actually the price action that gives birth to the support and resistance. As a matter of fact, people talk about the SMCs or the ICTs or this strategy, that strategy. I just want to just make this clarification for everybody. Whatever strategy you're using, it was derived from price action, right? And price moves, which is the action. Price moves or behaves, right, based on supply and demand. Simple, supply and demand. That's what business is all about. Think about it. Whatever business that you might be doing or you might have done, it was simply based on supply and demand. Demand greater than supply, the price goes up. Demand supply greater than demand, the price goes down. As simple as ABC. Well, maybe not as simple for a lot of people, but gradually, the more you do it, the simpler it gets. KISS. Keep it simple or sim. There's the last S. I don't like to mention what the last S is because the original one that I believe is keep it simple, stupid, or simplicity stupid or something. I know there's a stupid in the end. I don't like to mention the stupid. I like to say keep it simple or something. That's all. But it's KISS. So over here, if you look very well, an area of the resistance acted as support, pushed higher. This is an area of resistance, broke out, came back, acted as support, support. You can see. So now this is an area of resistance. Even if it poked up, this is a pin bar. This is kind of bearish pin bars we're talking about. This bearish pin bar, look at what happened. It took the market back to this area. Remember, this pin bar is in an uptrend and it's bearish, so you are going against the trend. As it went and walked, it went straight to the area of support and pushed higher. So the market is in the middle of this support and this resistance. We don't do anything in the middle. We do something at the support, which is to buy, or do something at the resistance, which is to sell. But then clearly the market is already pushing higher in this manner, right? And then it should get to this resistance. Now, when it gets to the resistance, what's going to happen here? Is it going to bounce or is it going to break? If it breaks, look forward to that area now acting as support where you can now look for longs and then push higher even the more. So this is the play I have for you on the dollar index, right? The dollar index, the DXY. Don't forget we said if the dollar is pushing up, expect the likes of Euro USD to be pushing down. So I'm just going to quickly flip over to the Euro USD. And of course, I trade the Euro USD, so I would explain it to you guys based on what I am seeing. Guys, I'm going to check the chart section again. If you guys have any instrument of choice, let me know before we gradually start to round up. Now, by the way, if you guys don't know the YouTube channel, I'm going to post the link now in YouTube for the YouTube channel that you guys can do what? You guys can subscribe. And then when we have future videos that we post, you guys can watch and get to learn from it. We have a lot of videos there already, videos based on analysis, based on teachings, education, how to even set your stop loss and take profit. We have things for beginners and also for struggling traders, right? So that is the link for those on the Trading Live platform. Of course, for those on the YouTube Live, you already have access to that. So you can just subscribe and then do what? Watch the past videos, and we have some new videos coming up shortly. Okay, so thank you guys. I can't see anybody posting any instruments of choice. You want us to do any analysis for you? I can't see anybody doing that. But at the same time, we're going to continue. Don't forget, in a few minutes, we're going to round up. So I want to show you this Euro USD based on the dollar. This is the Euro USD over here. And if you look at the Euro USD, I'm going to explain this quickly. And I will say this, yes, indeed, you can see my position here. So I am also in this, and I'm going to explain what I am seeing over here. Don't forget, based on what is happening on the dollar, right? Don't forget, this should be used not for signal, but as a form of education. You must know how to calculate your risk management. You must know how to manage your trades as well. Trade management based on the likes of trailing stop or partial close or whatever the case might be. You must know where there will be danger when you place a trade and so on, right? So if you look at this here, it's an uptrend. Now, mind you, this is from the 4 hours time frame, right? Remember the 30 minutes time frame on this USD index was telling us what? Was telling us it's an uptrend and we should keep on looking for buy. So I switched over to the 4 hours because I liked what I saw, and then I am using that for a sell. Now look at what we have over here. We have resistance, resistance acted as support. We have resistance here acted as support. We have resistance here acted as support, acted a bit as support, acted as resistance, acted as support over here, acted as support over here. You can see the reason why we're picking those levels. You have another level here. If I was to draw it something like this, okay? So you can see the reason why we're picking these levels here, resistance, support, support. You can see a bunch of resistance levels here. So this is where I'm looking forward to selling here and then taking it down to this point over here. And why this point here? Simply because we had it act as support and resistance in the past. Whenever it acts as support and resistance, we call it a flip zone. We can easily say that this should be at TP1, right? Now, don't forget, this is a trade I have taken on my live account as well. I'm showing you and I'm telling you now, and that's why we are saying that what we're doing here is strictly for what? Is strictly for live market analysis. But then there's a disclaimer, please, because this trade could also be a loss for me. I've accepted my loss because I use a particular risk management, maybe it's 1% or 2% and so on. I'm going to show you how I also calculate my risk management. For those that might not be conversant with how to calculate risk management, I'm going to show you in a bit, right? So this is TP1 for me. It gets there, hopefully sooner than later. And then TP2 over here. Don't forget, tomorrow we have high impact news coming out for the dollar. So this market could be a rush to the downside or could be a rush to the upside. Either way, I have my stop loss here after my entry and then have my take profit here. You can see that the entry to the take profit is well over 1 to 2, 1 to 3. This might probably be about 1 to 5 reward. So always make sure that your risk to reward ratio is in good proportion, right? Meaning that your risk should be smaller than the reward. Very key, very important for everybody to take note of. I'm going to do something now. I'm going to do a screenshot of this, right? So that tomorrow, based on what happens tomorrow, I would show you guys that it worked out, it didn't work out, and so on. Because at the end of the day, you must be in control, know what you are doing, and then stick to your analysis. I repeat, stick to your analysis. So that's what we've done over here based on this Euro USD. Let me just pop into the comment section and see whether we have any comments over here. Okay, nobody's requesting for any instruments. No problem. Probably tomorrow you'll be better prepared because I believe we are traders. We are probably struggling because I know we have more struggling traders and maybe even new. Obviously, we have more new and struggling than already professional traders making pips, right? I don't mean professional traders that have been trading for X amount of years, 2 years, 3 years, and they're not making pips. I mean professional, and that's why the word professional comes into play. You are doing what you are doing professionally, and then you are making pips, you are making money. Okay, so I'm going to show you something now, how to calculate your risk. And this is what I do for myself. I have something that we did for you. Don't forget we said the name of our academy, right, is CSA Forex. So we have the CSA Forex website. Well, this is the CSA Forex website over here. But then for the lot size calculation, we have it as number 7. So I have already opened it here because I use it on a daily. So this is CSA Forex website where we have the risk management calculator. So for those that are struggling with calculating your risk, this is it for you, right? And you can also get this calculator in other places, but it is unique. Why? Because I added some instruments like the Bitcoin is also here based on those that trade the Bitcoin. And if anybody has any instrument you're looking out for, right? Let me know you want to calculate the risk appropriately. We'll do that for you and we'll add it into the mix over here. This is the Bitcoin, the last one, gold, and some other currency pairs here. So you can see you have your account balance, you have your risk. Let me refresh this so that we can put in fresh parameters. Now you have your account balance. Let's assume your account balance is $1,000. Your risk, you're risking 1%. Now, as your risk is 1%, right? As your risk is 1%, 1% of 1,000 will give us $10, as you can see. And let's assume our stop loss is, let's say our stop loss is 20 pips. Now, the instrument is, let's say the instrument is GBP USD. We click on calculate, then it will tell us the position size. So let's do that, calculate. So the position size that we should be using, which is the lot size, also known as the volume, is 0.05, right? So don't forget you're doing this based on your account balance, right? And then after you do this, you scroll down, you can see Merkle lot size table. I don't know whether there's any sites that they have, apart from the calculator, the tables for you to find out where your 0.05 falls under. You got 0.05 here for pounds USD. Where does it fall on that? This is it over here, 0.05. So that's what? 5 micros, right? So you can check out the website. This is the website over here. I'll put the link, right, or the website for everybody to check out. For those that might be interested, I'll put up the link, right, so that you can do what? Go there and then use the calculator. We have a lot of traders that are struggling, and then as you are struggling, you don't know how to calculate your lot size appropriately. We're going to do that for you now. You can go over to the website. I have dropped the website for you guys, so you can go over there, right? And I'll drop it here as well for those on the YouTube live. So you can go over there and then get the necessary information from there that should help you to calculate your risk appropriately. So that means what? That means no more struggling to calculate your risk, right? So with that said, as I said earlier, we're going to be rounding up in a bit, right? So we've been able to show you how to calculate your risk appropriately. We've looked at some analysis on the GBP JPY that was requested by Emmanuel Omo. We looked at the pound, the Euro USD based on what's happening on the dollar, and of course what to expect tomorrow. We've also looked at what? We've also looked at the Bitcoin, the BTC USD. Very, very key, very, very important. So guys, as we are rounding up now, please take advantage of what we have discussed, right? Take advantage of what we have discussed. Use the risk management calculator and then go back to the chart and look at what's happening on the chart and see whether you can benefit from it at the end of the day. Don't forget the dollar, don't forget the pound JPY that we talked about. And then tomorrow, when we meet up, we will do what? We would do a follow-up of what we have discussed today. And if you have any instrument of choice, do let us know. So thank you guys for joining us. And then don't forget to also subscribe, right? Also subscribe to the YouTube channel that when we're posting new videos, you get to watch them on time, whether it's videos on education, explaining one thing or the other to you, or maybe it's videos on analysis, because we tend to pick one instrument of choice. It could be gold, it could be Euro USD, and we could do like a multi-time frame analysis on that particular instrument, right? Okay, so want to say thank you guys, and we will see you same time tomorrow, right? If you have any questions, use the csaforest.com/school website. There's a place there for you to contact us if you have any questions whatsoever. Thank you guys. Don't forget to trade safely. Make sure you're using visible stop loss on your chart. Stop loss is very key to limit your losses. There will be losses, it's part of the business. And there is no strategy that is 100%. So do that, and then also make sure to calculate your risk appropriately, that you are only losing what you are comfortable with, whether it's 1%, 2%, even half. You could put half in that calculator over there. But thank you guys for tuning in. And of course, we will see you at another time, same time tomorrow. Cheers, guys. Trade safely. Goodbye for now.